Teni dolache, teni zugila zugan niri chungi, ta soke nesan chungi che, chidane zugan niri chudingi yore, tela pabe nesan nga yore, pabe nesan nga nena nyaga zan chudingi che, dos che ne. Te kong la ne, namgatayi, namshitayi, chiyami, sitizini, wada zumegi nesan nyi che, sitizide, seba tasho re. Tanda manche womgenge hindu, tende ku womgedi gala, sisi semde tubuwa, sem tamu, dobe. Chayasa teyi lathong de la, jidembe lathong la giro mato, lathong, jidembe lathong lathong. Ani, nambe lathong da, tongi tawi, tongba nye ne tobi lathong de la, yang tabi lathong la giro wa. Wada dus chene, diyo. Kanche chukcha de, ngema de sisi semde, koroy nena sem trasho re. Wada dus re. Ta maa roye na, tse rinsho, ani nyawa la, yang sui la ka zo la lugu. Nilo, yeti ka zo ni chi yore te, kunza la me jolo ne tezu, tseze tezu, rindu zu pe salvo yore, nzo ki tezu rung tanda pe salvo yore, tezu lo na yabo yore. Ani nyalu, nisi betta tseze rinpo re. Tiki tona, ati samsamji tenden legre, wada ti dusu re. Wada namecha, jiden kanto taba tamjeke ladami, doji chimbe tso, sidada kanji, 코로나 예제 semchen 탐제잖아 머리에 개개 엄마라 탐제지 대화를 그리지 룽알 따기랑 세워다 대화를 그리지 저리가라 에 잠뱅이 버차도 다니 아니 에 나게지 대게잖아 따네 대화를 댐바르 삼노 가야 아니 랑스데 나게 랑스디가라 콘데기 쓴 코로나 리베 semchen 탐제기 에 dungal ta chik kani jino tezu niji mi pa tsadu tani lenya de teshi war langs jedam gumbulu ge gala ta dimi ne dagu mali timi sho se wada di ta kuntu sade teri gumbulu ge ta uma yin chana ni ga de ti de adi ngone veje chega wa tambo lojon chige manjal tanda tonsen vele ate zo ti zidegala iwanto tuti ane pe wiki ane pe nildangi zerde tabe wiki nila tabi lansha nila pe veshe nari tambata veshe sharawani mada pe kadambe veshe chimbo nyamlemba pe veshe zambayi nyamlemba tede pudu chunga jidu nari tambe lojong tsike maso tu iwan shibushi chore sharawala tu iwan rotodi ane zega rodi 아니 나리 탐바 진나 베니 요마리 여기시 샤라와페 데 순진나는 주야래 주에데가 아니 베 도데긴지 순과 도데긴도 순는데가라 년디 잔디 기sem이 담바 거르데 균 순과 말에 마선데 니마지 전삼자데가라 이것이 에 샤라와 최든지로 꼬라나가 주데가라 아니 제가 왔대 체동아도 배지 아니 건강하게 zendeya ting nang peche nang jamsi sudwa nga tsu na arjo suri shire di ting nang ani di ting nang je ani di juda nga toba yosi ani chura kira toba mi che kare yosi ani pa yu ani lari tangpa nze pe lojong sige ma pe tenzi di ngone nga shibuji i togudu di ani samdela samludani kangale tegidu usi samlani semna pembodu usi di nyamsu lanchaji ina menna sidigala ani sharawagi pet tematadu kyo ani sangi ki kopang deginji ina di malawala tabyo mare di imba nga kunyos ani pe gumuludugi dala teta dimiji dagimeli temisho ludugi pesungre ludugle keba suyare chondan pabe tan zabulini kebe gongbo namlemba 두비 깨져 문불루도 루루도 때스우요를 쓰다가 제가 왔거든 배는 에 우마를 이제 타만 남는 배가 옛날 나라로도 배디가라 우마를 이제 타면 뒤지기가라 되니 제가 와 투이왕 톤에 얘네 셔라와래 연결 앞에 벼랑게 지순지네 얘네 뒤지기 인스도 어 경아에서 내다 켜랑에 따뜻한 바지 찍어 전주 숨기 따뜻한 바지 지기 이제 까나니 아니 전주 선배 담바도서 난 로주루 냠도 오네 배 그것이 차가와라 전주 선 툴을 줘 루기도 소도아 마마 경고는 뭐 정도 뉴욕라 로전 던지만 안디 왔다 루기도 시부송기 왔다 도소리 아주 루기도서 개첨부 차리야 되지 루기도 양양도 삼당 셈지 되기도 와 어떻게 개첨부래 왔다 지들이다
Continue with the reading, page 75. Moreover, the prayers for granting supreme love say, may the gods, anti-gods, and gods and great serpents of all the innumerable worlds, from the peak of existence above to the hell, without respite below, find happiness as I take on their suffering. So, again, so sort of we see the entire, the range of existence in Buddhism. In cyclic existence, the highest being, what we call peak of existence. And then when we go below, the lowest being health without respite. And if you go up, desire realm, form realm, and then formless realm. And formless realm is further kind of categorized into 4 stages. And the highest stage is the peak of existence, which is the highest stage or most subtlest mind in the cyclic existence. And so there are non-Buddhist practitioners who attain what we call special insight, mundane special insight, but that is not equal to what is the highest insight, special insight in the Buddhist practice. So so here you can see basically may they find happiness. They're referring to all other sentient beings in the cyclic existence, and you are taking upon the suffering of all of those sentient beings to yourself. And when you do that, as we mentioned before, using special skills of compassion, and the more detail about the length of lifetime of hell, hungry ghost. These are mentioned very clearly in the book, the good advice by my kind teacher. In that book, you can find a detail about those. And now the next one, it's the quote from a great Indian master, as you see, Nagarjuna. The master Nagarjuna says, "May the unwholesome deeds bear fruit for me, and may my virtues bear fruit for them." And this, kind of remind us the story of a great Kadamba masters, Geshe Chekawa, who actually was, reading and practicing 8-point mind training, the short 8-point mind training, and at that time, there were 2 famous practitioners of Kadamba Geshe in the central Tibet. They are considered as sun and moon. Sun being Geshe Langtangpa, Langritangpa, and then moon being Geshe Sharawa. So Langshar, we say kind of together, Langshar. These 2 Geshe as the exemplary practitioners of this mind training. Not only these 2 were great intellectual scholars, but very highly practitioners. So Geshe Chekawa, when studying 8-point mind training, he heard about these 2 great scholars in the central Tibet, and when he tried to find these 2, Geshe Langriwa, the first one, Langritangpa, he was already passed away, and he happened to visit Geshe Sharawa when he was giving a teaching on sutra ornament, but in giving this teaching, while Geshe Cheka was listening, Sharawa was not kind of teaching at all about the teachings related or on topic of bodhisattva, bodhicitta, altruism. And so later, when Geshe Sharawa was taking a break from his teaching, Chekawa approached him and request him to sit by laying his rope on the floor, and then he said, please sit here, I have some questions to ask. And then when Geshe Sharawa sit and Geshe Chekawa brought this question, that he was studying and reading 8-point mind training, but that text was extremely helpful as well as difficult to put into practice. And so he kind of answered, whether that text was really kind of has an actual basis in the actual teachings of the Buddha himself. And so Geshe Sharawa then kind of recited this sentence. Sharawa mentioned that this is actually based on Nagarjuna's own teaching. May the unwholesome deeds bear fruit for me, and may my virtues bear fruit for them. And so Geshe Chekawa, after listening to this, getting his answered, he went back and reread his text that he always carried by Nagarjuna, and he saw the exact line, and that made him really kind of bring immense joy, sense of satisfaction. And then he kind of again went back to Geshe Sharawa, and Geshe Sharawa said, if you stay with me, I will make sure that you attain altruism. And so Geshe Chekawa spent 16 years studying and practicing, engaging in the practice of altruistic mind with Geshe Sharawa. And later he became one of the great masters of the altruism. And so looking back into this kind of actual histories, sometimes it could be helpful for us to to get us the message, as His Holiness shared this story while giving teaching in New York.
Wada jiwa legi, zada jendu nyambatan, zada nyambatan, zada jendu jebrki, so wada di jiwa lagi, ta junju tsiri di. Zajin tindigi samtangwa kare, wato zajin jia di, minsiba ke jembo re. Ngaran to kare zada jeni dewan deba nyamba setigala, dewan deba nyamba ni yulchi bare. Lungal mindoba miyulchi bare. Jaza miyulchi ba indeg ninjila koda ngase ya miduwas. Tatung ran chinjingi lungal tingware. Jen chinjingi dewa tingware. Jaza ran chinjing de lode lungal tengen lode pa torche. Ini dewa tengen lode ini to sinjebolo samlo jebolo la modo jendake chibombo. Oda ti zadan jendu nyambata, zadan jendu jebarki. Tendi inza, dajene samlo jeguri. Se oda tu sungudwa. Oda te shibushke chimbore kemurmaji. Nimbo jen sungudwa, yang tu sungudwa di. Dani ki kyun jenlayang. Dani kyun chi jenlayang, yunden gyasur shechene. Danji yonsun dorwata, jenlambani gombarcha. Gom sidigala. Omri se niyaniyando, sarchi mitsun devasa maimba. Yaniyando, omri se ngwa, usine kompa leya chingware. Kanchi, thoba tegi, sambetola, thoba chibe, enibe, chwe chenyen chene, sambet, di, thoda karagu ware, yishin turuwa ware, yunga isun cholande, yishin turuwa. Ni sambetati, susi gyula nyumu churu endo jitang hore. Nyumu churu royena samta jintu, samta nyumu chunga re, tueta jintu wa se sungdwa. Namrim lama gibe lama tasu tendi sungdwa kajula. 같이 뭐네 나서 돼봤지도 아니 직 차한데 아니 나 지지 배치지는 진도 니도 숨도 소시시 융아 그 군절이 긴 마판나 이 맨자니 나자마다데 지부지냐래 다 삼로다 녀모 추충 녀모랑 녀모를 팽이면나 맨데 팽이베 따래 삼로 야부지 따다지 땅 모두베 따래 삼로 따다 마크로 따래 근데 도스제니가 삼로 양내양도 홈 세디가 양내양도 삼로 따는데 같이 시도해 디버지야 수술로는 디버지야
Shantideva says, Shantideva in his text, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, equalize yourself and others, then exchange yourself with others. And having seen the faults of self-centeredness and the ocean of good in concern for others, I shall completely give up all selfishness and accustom myself to accepting others. So we see the same point here. Exchanging basically means exchanging a thought, a way of thinking, attitude. Because the underlying kind of reason here is that all of us are common, in a sense that we all don't want suffering and want happiness. So having that kind of same, sameness or commonality, why bringing this so kind of strengthening or kind of fostering this so biased mentality within yourself. So here, Shantideva kind of emphasize on the practice of, equalizing yourself and exchanging yourself with others, which basically means exchanging thought of self-cherishing or ego mind with other cherishing thought. And this is a exchanging of thought, attitude, or mindset. And the reason we mentioned before, because self-cherishing thought is always the source of problem, suffering, while other cherishing thought is the source of happiness and goodness. So he's talking about, exchange, plant the seed of happiness in your mind, and then give up the source within yourself, which is the cause of all suffering and problem. And for that, what is needed is, as mentioned here in the same text by Shantideva, having seen the faults of self-centeredness, understanding the negative impacts of self-centeredness or ego minds, and understanding the positive impacts of other cherishing thought. And with that, the important point here is accustom myself to accepting others. Accustom here is getting used to it, getting familiar with this practice. So therefore, the assumption is that you need to be doing it again and again, over and over. This meditation, the thought process. In kind of typical Buddhist practice, you have heard these three processes, beginning with the listening or hearing, and then second is contemplation, and then third is meditation. So these three kind of coming one after another. And when you do that, what is supposed to be happening according to the oral kind of teachings of the sages of path, lineage masters, Lamrim teachers, there's a saying is that the sign of your listening properly or studying properly is that your physical, verbal, and mental behavior should be calm and peaceful. And that is the sign of your listening is going well. The sign or evidence of doing a contemplation well is that your afflicted emotions is reducing within yourself, diminishing, afflicted emotions. So otherwise, you keep listening, learning, studying again and again, and if there's nothing changed in your behavior, there's really no kind of reason, it's kind of a wastage of listening or studying if there is no kind of calmness, peacefulness, development in your physical and verbal and mental quality. So it would be like taking medicine all the time, but there is no really benefit from medicine. And likewise, when you say contemplation, thinking over and over, the benefit and the purpose is, diminishing of your destructive emotions or afflictions. Again, if you are contemplating so often, and if there is no this impact within your mind, then there's really, again, it's a wastage of contemplation. So therefore, the positive side is that when we follow this, listening, contemplation, and meditation, we should be sort of making sure that we are using it rightly, so that we have this kind of result within us.
Kanji dadan shengi ni nyulu kyubur ndobate, zadan shen no nyambata, zadan shen do jepre. Dadan shen do jepatang, sanwe damba chebarcha, sewadat, dajen jea gitila, sanwe damba seyate. Ngar rishi cheka opartu, hajar di, dujawanan chanju seba nyamlin nang tugil ne mado, tindi dajen jebe takar karso kote. Tende tonen pe atang tigiti ani nangi o mare reshi chakawa ki thondol na oti garjeni yana nangba ina temen batezo len tugo mare chanju seba shindu wandu lina kesolo la pago mare mapapi lothake nika tindu ngoni chik yumin denge neba yendenge 냠는 책임지는 난과이지 인상 사회상 바체 송르지 계속도.
And to whoever is keen to give swift protection to both himself and others should practice the sublime secret of equalizing and exchanging self and others. So you can see here, this practice of equalizing and exchanging self and others, the technique of generating altruistic mind, is called a secret practice, and this was this remained kind of secret until the time of Geshe Chekawa, because this practice of giving and taking, or equalizing oneself and others, exchanging, Tonglen practice basically, it was remained intentionally kind of secret until Geshe Chekawa's time, and then from Geshe Chekawa's and onward it becomes more kind of open public teaching. The reason is that this teaching should be given to appropriate disciples, whose mind are prepared for this kind of teaching. Otherwise, prior to that period, there are Buddhist practitioners of lesser vehicle Theravadan system, and within the higher Mahayana vehicle, there are practitioners of what we call lesser intelligence or lesser capacities. And so this kind of teaching, exchanging yourself and others, equalizing, it's something that is kind of doesn't fit in either of these Buddhist followers' mind or way of thinking. So therefore, it remained kind of a secret, but later become more open and public, teaching. So as I said, we will stop here, and you can ask questions if you have. Yeah.
In the first half of the talk this morning, Geshe-la said that people with normal minds like us, Tonglen was very ineffective, and it sounded like it was almost a waste of time. But I'm sure he didn't mean that, and that the higher-minded beings, the bodhisattvas, when they do it, it has a lot more effect. But I'm sure Geshe-la wasn't meaning to say that we shouldn't even try to practice it. So that's not really a question, but it's put a question mark at the end of it.
I did. 지미세 지워드면서 내가 지워도 저 상기 계시라 손에서는 동네에서 미규모진 저기 제나 제모 칼로리스 제일 칼레요다 제나 배주메겨도 제일 칼레요다 전주선배는 좀 냠내 제로 손손사 다들 미규모진 제나 팬도제 요 말을 했는데 숨게 요 말을 하려도
팬도 메긴 질라네 그밖에 게 엄마 봤어 제나 팬도요 전주선배인데 지 당보 장주기 셀로 매바기 되니 매바데 니베 콤바 체르 다데니 조마마인 주민이 딱 녀와트 주민이 녀와다 다른 콤디 체르다네 애니 장주기 셀라 조마마인 녀와트 인데가라 전사바 길 장주기 셈 길에 기기리 장주기 셈 길에 계다 전사바 사람 바차버 사람 중무스기도 왔다 그래도 신인 루도나다 कोबा में जी शेगा मरता दिन शेया कांगा मजो पीछे थोड़ा तंगे मिंदु शेरे पीछे ते तांजी चे गुरे काजे पीछे ताजीना देसोना ते लोद क्यों है तो सुजिन निबा यो मारे जमदेन देला निबा यो मारती मजो भाजा सो ओदा सेरी दांतनी शिवजी पे जुराबाद जी ठेबर चने मिंडा सो शेगा 뒤섰을 로데 단진지 로데 가는 수리버 수질러서 두 말에 마음번에서 두 번은 대발라서 두야 말에 마음번에서 두야요 말 인데 뒤서 단진지에 쉬워 계신 거래 나도 때는 미 틀이 잡히지 시작이 세제링 버티 뒤나 말에 인도가라 단다체나 맞아 두비 두차니 니바요 위기 자 아니 딜레 아니 लेपिन नाम चे खाका निबाया ये ती सब द ताजिन चे के चिशो ती रिगुल चे रे ती चे कहां चे ती सम yang नियम तो तांग कर सम तांग इंजी वेंज के देगो मारे सो काबान रोटी गला ती समलो ते न्यम तो तान रोगे ना के क्यों मिदो मर तंगी समलो गाच के मिदो
तो कोन टिओ के तो कोसो ज तोने मिचुमा ज पेंटो मारे लगे वे
पेंटो ग्रेस हे मदन करचिन लग ग्रेस 다 수수 토니 거기 매바 명인지는 pen 가버와 마다 수수 매바 있는 펜도 그러 마다는 것이 제가 통단한 거 이거든요
So you were saying whatever he's saying here he's saying for the very reason that it is beneficial, whatever he has been saying. Otherwise, it would be wastage of time. And for bodhisattvas, of course, when you look at how they practice, they first go from sort of not or fake, altruism, then they later attain higher stage, path of accumulation, and gradually they develop or promote. But the practice here, including, I guess he's saying for for ordinary people, it is helpful, and especially it is helpful, especially those who have a keen interest or interest or desire in this kind of practice. And for that reason he was saying the importance of not wasting our time, whatever time that we have, using it in a meaningful way, with a kind of understanding of our own ability as a human being, the sort of biological structure of human body, its brain, and when you look at all of this, we are sort of fully equipped to engage in this kind of practice. And but time, when we don't use it properly, once it is gone, it is gone. There is no way of kind of bringing back. Not even Buddha has succeeded. And even nowadays we see a highly advanced scientific development, but science won't have the ability to bring back past, back to us. And as a human with kind of limited lifespan, like around 100 years, so not wasting our time and using it properly. Did you get your answer? 고랑게 고야라 미주마 현주선 배치해지 만드지 미주메 지나 또 배주 요마를 동도로 고여서로 되게.
Dinada lamne pejene tia koran tig marwa. Pejete gizke thambaya nga za macher ma.
So you're saying there is a benefit and definitely benefit for ordinary people because we are the one who are looking and studying this. Otherwise, it won't be at all in the content of the teaching.
상회 담바스야 돼. 와다 덴디기 로타키 초초 영은 데줄라 고나코 펠린 늦쳐요사 디기 상회 담바스 돼. 디디버도 상화 제거해야 돼. 다 그시 제가 이들로 보일라 지 상기 템바 사다 남라 인내긴 들리 인자 디왕게 그시 제가고 좀다 독스나 유진 니가를 유진매 말이 유진이야.
Keeping it kind of secret until Geshe Chekawa's time was because there is a high risk of especially people who are not prepared and who can easily sort of get false attitude or idea. So for those individuals this could become more dangerous rather than helping. But at the same time, Geshe Chekawa's time, the period of Buddhism was not so good. It might be kind of era where Buddhism is almost kind of disappearing. So he made it more access to common people. Yeah. Yeah. Carl.
So like there's the story of the practitioner who like a dog was kicked and the practitioner was bruised and the dog was fine. So that's of course like a very strong practice of Tonglen, but did it really help? Because in a way didn't that, I mean if the dog was kicked, would that then have exhausted the bad karma for the dog? And so did that practitioner really help the dog, or did he just kind of kick the can down the road for the dog's karma? And how does one actually help instead of just
디베도 그런 키로 오실어도 간스땡이 코노 그런 코노테는 예 노견은 다 이야기 세상에 아마 동자실라 애들에 네 계시 대 동자실버르지나다 아마들 동자실버르지나 아마디기 레세라 펜토 요머르도 레 동네 사교셔로
가래도 동자실버데 동자실버데 아미 텔은 너바르 마다 텐더 토요 마로와 토요 마르데 딱 코랑기 삼리토니 주고 건 교바기 애는 교바기 애는 삼단 파이 참르도 갈라 코 겐지원이 덴디 투고지 덴디 통 애니 디 통화보되게 라카제티도 갈라 아메 레바 된 강갈라 나마 끼왕 아메 레기 아메 레바토네 티 레기 내민 코네 그 레바 주 등고 알지 라비온도 갈라 코랑 딱이 아말라 레바데 덤바 인자 디 렌사 땅데가 땡용도가라 아니 코라 레 골라 파용 투보데 골라 파당 코 자케왕남이 레베 콤파이나다 단다 코란라베 신경 장보지 두데 되게 콤파이인로 가레인로 코라 섬메나라 나당간다고 심진 민바 가수지요레 베 랭감바상에 파말라에네 베 니동당에 가서 이 심진기 에네베 탐지기 동안다 달라민시 저molom 게데 심장보지다 이 진지 끼버라 디게 게비 투로와 이거 디게 투로 인도 심장보지디 이 진지 끼나 다즘지 헬라비야 이 인디가라 맞아 심장보싱인데 윤도 된 거는 다 가수지 핑기다
The message from that story, first of all, I think it was, Kesha said mother, maybe I said it mother, right? While you were saying a dog.
I thought the story was of a dog.
Oh, okay, it was mother, maybe, I don't know, maybe I've said it wrong, but it's, a son kind of kicking his mother's head.
Oh, I didn't mean the story that was told today.
Oh.
There's like another story in general of like a Tonglen practitioner
알라라.
알레
다들
킬로 동계셔들 계실라 년직 소인 배
기대 말에. 다들 디시게서. 지진 잠바 검보검네 키모지로 다들까지 시기.
Can you elaborate more on that story? It's just a kicking dog and
Yeah.
There's a monastery and there are people, there are practitioners inside doing Tonglen. Outside of the walls of the monastery, boys were throwing stones and kicking a dog, and the dog was crying and crying out. And so the practitioners did Tonglen for this dog.
okay.
And so the dog was unhurt, but the Tonglen practitioners had bruises all over their bodies,
Okay.
like they had experienced the stoning and the kicking. And so the question is, I gather from you, is did they take that dog's karma on, and so the dog is free of that, of being
Okay.
harmed again from that aspect of its karma, and
Okay.
they've taken it on, or have they done this to the dog and now it's going to happen to it again because it's you know it didn't use up the dog's karma really, it just took it away for the moment.
It's a layover.
다들 딘다다 루기 망보아라. 다 톨든 마도 티 아주 강갈로네 티 딘더지베 렌산 렌투비야요 말이. 이 가보아래. 다 렌산 렌 마투나 돈렌 제나 펜도 가래요래. 수sem나 로게치루라. 수sem나 디가 카자 쿠드기 펜도 데리.
저 그런 게 제거돼 되지 이렇게 단다 제거 그런 게다 세브로 써서 빼대. 동네 친구들은 다 나로 동네 친구 치료래는 미 부분이 게 키로니다 된다는데 그래서 제가 동네 친구들에게 키로니다 당대 좀 키무게 쇼든데 지는 동네 친구들이 렘베미 버치되 아니 동네 친구들이 소배가다 키기 그 칼로리 동기 맞게 샤치되 아니 다 키기 다 지워디 키디가 아니지 키디라 아니 레니 바사요데 레니 바사 교디기 데부디 키디 용요 말와스 동네 친구들이 칼로리 키친 발라오래 렘바로
대인지 부들 용구르마다 킬레 용야요 말이지.
제산 키게 동네디 냥고 모고 제산 발다 키게 동네디 칼로르다 파 치냐도 쉐와도 키게 동네 냥고에 레지니네 사유그로 스타디 사디 좀 제부민디 좀 제부 셴바지 키친 발라오래 동네 친구지 키친 발어 대인데 키게 제부디 냥 모고 야마나 칼로레 레게 제부디 파스 치냐도 쉐와도 컨데르
다티 양 겨왕함에 레지단 데와 용인지다. 아니 빠기 렘베 미바칭인데요. 똑바 톰보 연대긴지 마도 요즘에 저도 영화예요 말이. 다시 망고질 던 거로. 도지 시드가라. 겨왕함에 레기라. 프람바이 렘바보다나 키딩이 겨왕함에 레긴데 와 요거래. 에 키드당 종엔 부대니 겨왕함에 레긴데 와 인데. 아니 렘바보대야 똑바시다 쌀 연대게 누가 연대게 된디지나 딘들레 용거라. 요즘에서는 용야 가버려. 돈은 지금 강갈 때 용거를 비전에 이제 걔다 막 가버려.
So I guess Keshila saying again that experience of dog from kind of karmic perspective, there is a karmic seed for that, being not able to experience and kind of taken away by somebody else doing a Tonglen practice. Here, this happens with the many different kind of karmic causes and factors coming together. It doesn't happen obviously with all Tonglen practitioners, but when we look at this specific sort of circumstances, there is the karmic action of course the dog's experience and the individual that inflicted harm on dog, and then dog and the Tonglen practitioners and are able to receive. So karmically there are a lot of things that is kind of involved in this. It is so kind of so much interconnectedness between all of these who are engaged in this. So it is kind of a unique example or a unique case that doesn't happen commonly even among Tonglen practitioners.
디 누가는 더 코나 레 맞으면 밑에 쓰기도 와. 이게 전부 지로 와.
So, in general, kind of statement about cause and effect, karma is that the karmic action that you have not committed, you won't experience the result. So here, there is a karmic seed that was planted sometime in the past. So therefore, everything engaged in this kind of circumstances is kind of experiencing the result. Although that might be a totally different way of experiencing a karma, but there is a karmic seed that has been planted before to experience that unique karmic result. Otherwise, if there's no karmic seed, there is no way that one can attain the result or experience the result. Any other questions?
Karirawe kurve shingamde pendande wa malu jungene chere ziwa Jambal pawe chitara chambandang kundo sanwo deyande shinde tela gunge jesun dalo Yawandi da tamche rapto shin Junshani yawa tamche ki moa kanga chodong Lajin yewe zawa dikin ya zambo chinji rabdu wawadi ki Man and Sakavashna White Mountains
The source of all happiness and benefit.
laws and efforts and generous satans and gods of remain in the our hands, just as the words want to share in our nations, and some other are to do. So now I to dedicate these mass to train and follow in their footsteps, as all the victorious Buddhas of past, present, and future. Praise, dedication, does supreme. So now I too dedicate this source of my merit for all beings to perfect good actions.
Thank you.